Good afternoon, guys. Mike here with Wilderness Warriors on YouTube. Thanks for joining me for this video and tabletop review of the Condor Bushlore knife. This is how it comes from the factory. Got a nice cardboard box. The knife itself comes in a plastic bag. The blade comes wrapped in tissue paper. There's a desiccant filter in there, a desiccant cartridge in there to keep moisture down so it doesn't corrode. You've got the warning of carbon steel will rust, you must lubricate it. You've got a nice little pocket Condor catalog, and that's it. Good packaging is always nice. I am really tired of all the little cheap plastic blister packs that you see on shelves with peg hooks and all. So this is what we've got. This is the Condor Bushlore with wood handles. This knife is made of 1075 carbon steel, has a Rockwell hardness of 58 to 59. It has a Scandi grind. It has a matte blasted finish. It is not a coating on the blade, but it's actually a sandblasting that they've done to it, or a bead blasting of some kind. It has a sharp 90-degree spine, has a standard spear point for a bushcraft knife. Again, hardwood handles. There are two rivets that hold the handles on. It is a full tang knife. There is a brass lanyard ring in the rear. This knife did come very sharp from the factory. Comes with the leather sheath. We'll go over that in just a second. The specs on this knife are the overall length is 9 5/16. The handle length itself is 5 inches. The blade length is 4 5/16. The blade width is 1 7/32 at its widest point. It is 1/8 inch or 3 millimeters thick. It weighs 0.77 pounds. This knife does feel great in the hand. I will put some video clips in here of my first initial field testing on this knife that you will see towards the end of this video. But it does feel good. I've got kind of small hands, and whereas it's not a giant knife, this knife feels excellent in my hands. Everything is smooth. There are no sharp edges on it except for the blade itself. Even the wood edges are rounded down. They're smooth. There's nothing that grabs any fabric or anything like that. It is just a very, very good feeling knife. It's pretty well balanced. I'll find a balance point there maybe. So it is balanced pretty well in the center of the first finger groove. A little bit of a palm swell, classic type design. Has their name stamped into one side, and on the other side El Salvador, because that is where it's manufactured. The part number on this one is CTK 232-4.3 HC. The price on this knife was $36.99. Again, it comes with a leather sheath. The leather sheath itself is what I consider very high quality. No flaws in the leather itself. Everything is perfectly smooth, evenly dyed. It has their logo stamped into it there. It has one rivet up top, another rivet down at the bottom, and stitching all in between. It has a very nice welt sewn into it to keep the threads from getting cut by the blade. It has El Salvador stamped on the back because that's where it's manufactured as well. The belt loop makes it ride midway. It doesn't ride super high, doesn't ride low. It is sewn on fairly well. You've got 2 rows of stitching here in a loop. Up on the top, it is folded over and sewn on the inside with the same type loop. On the inside, that patch you see down there are 2 patches that they sewed in over the stitches before they stitched the side together, so your blade tip does not catch and cut the stitching for the belt loop. This knife does not work well as a dangler due to the fact that the sheath only comes to about halfway on the handle itself. It actually needs to come up to about here if you're going to be using it as a dangler. And then the belt loop itself is actually below that, and it actually needs to come up to about the height of the handle if you're going to use it for a dangler, because what happens is the knife wants to turn sideways like that as you're trying to dangle it, and then it hangs out, and as you're walking, hits your leg, hits the trees, whatever. That's the only thing that I'm not a big fan of, is the sheath. Again, excellent quality. It's just not the design that I particularly care for. I generally do not wear knives on my belt. I usually wear them as a dangler on a clip that's on my belt, or if they're small enough and light enough, I wear them around my neck. But overall, this thing is great, especially for the money. It is a very good quality built knife that should last a very long time, especially if taken care of and you keep the corrosion down and keep it lubricated. I have been thoroughly pleased with using this thing so far in the field. Feels great in the hand. It came super sharp. The blade did come, let's see if I can show you here, with a coating, which you can see is coming off of it. It is a clear coat, basically designed to keep corrosion down in the field. I just have not taken any strippers or anything to pull that off. It's wearing off with use. I have not sharpened this knife at all, and it is still pretty darn sharp. It's not razor sharp. It will take some hair off, but it's not hair popping sharp for sure. But for 37 bucks, to me it's a no-brainer. I mean, I paid more than that for my Bushcraft Black Mora, and I love that knife too. But this is a full tang knife with a little bit beefier blade on it, and I very much like it. I think this is going to be a very favorite knife of mine when I get around to getting a sheath made, either out of leather or making one myself out of Kydex that will do the dangling option the way I like. So watch the use video coming up, and leave comments for me, questions, suggestions, anything like that. And if you're not a subscriber, click that subscribe button for me. Share the video with your friends. Tell everybody about the channel, and help me out and help this thing grow a little bit. And if you do like the video, click the little thumbs up like button down there at the bottom, and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.